Hi there gorgeous, hope you're having a fabulous day. In today's video, I am sharing 8 different 10-second makeup tips that make a world of difference in the final look with your makeup. I have every single one of them on my face today. They're very subtle, very played down, but they truly do make everything come together, and they're really easy to do too. So I'll show you everything up close so you can recreate these for yourself. The very first tip that I want to share with you is adding a little bit of a white eyeshadow onto the inner corners of your eyes. And this is one I know you've heard many times before in the past, and it's something that I started doing in the past month or so to really de-emphasize the fact that I am not sleeping. I mean, come on, let's get real. But it does make a huge difference, and it tends to draw a lot of light into that area of the eye. So if you have a lot of sleepless nights, or you just want to look more awake, this is an excellent tip. You can also apply it on the lid area to help open the eyes more and under the brow bone. Now, some people will tell you to use a shimmery white eyeshadow, but I have been using a matte white eyeshadow, and I like that a lot better. And I feel like it looks a little more effortless as opposed to having a shimmery finish eyeshadow in that spot. And it's a little easier to blend out. It's not as pronounced, but it makes a world of difference. And before I share the next tip with you, I want to first talk about the science behind it so that you get an idea of why this next tip works so well. If you've ever taken art, you may remember learning about shadows, highlights. I know in my art class we had to learn how to place objects and then see where the shadows came in and how the light hit the object, where the light spots would be. And we had to draw that into the picture. And it's the same thing with makeup. On areas that you want to emphasize, you want to apply light shades to help bring them forward. And on areas that you want to de-emphasize or hide a little bit more, then that's where you would apply your contour shades, your shadows, to help those recede back. So in this next tip, we're applying a light shade to the outer corners of the eye. Now, full credit goes to Robert Welsh here on YouTube for this tip. I tried out his concealer technique in a video, I want to say it was last month, and I absolutely loved the idea of it. I was a little hesitant to do it at first, but I love it, and I've been doing it every day since. What he did was he took a small amount of concealer and applied it to the outer corners of the eye and then blended it up. So when you're taking a light shade like this and applying it onto a part of the face that typically can be a little darker than not, it really does help to emphasize it and draw it out, as opposed to making it recede back and appear either more droopy or drawn down. And for me, having downturned eyes, it really does help to give me that instant eye lift effect, but it's not too much, it's not over the top, and it's very brightening. It especially pairs up well with a wing, and when I'm doing my wings like I have on today, I feel like the results are greater. So if you've not tried that tip before, you absolutely must. Shout out to Robert for that, you're fabulous. The next tip that I want to share with you is applying concealer to the outer corners of your nose. So when you apply concealer to the folds around the nose, it makes them less noticeable. It helps to brighten the face, and it instantly gives you this real life Instagram filter. Now, this trick may not work for every single face shape. A lot of the ones I'm sharing with you today are just going to be trial and error to see how they work for you, and most importantly, how they make you feel. But if your nose is an area that's been a struggle for you, try adding a little bit of concealer along the folds. You might be surprised at the results that you get. Next tip I want to share with you is taking a neutral eyeshadow, any brown, cool toned preferably eyeshadow, and sweeping it along the lower lash line of the eyes. Now when I do this tip, I typically bring it only 3/4 of the way in. I never go all the way into the inner corner because this can close off the eyes. But when you add a small amount of an eyeshadow directly on the lower lash line, it helps to add contour and really makes the eyes stand out. Now along those same lines, if you want to open the eyes even further, skip applying mascara on your lower lashes. I can't tell you how many times I've done this, and I get so many compliments that, oh, you look like you slept a lot. Or you look like you've done something different. What did you do? You look younger. And it really does help to open your eyes up, make them appear wider, brighter, by just not having any mascara on the lower lashes. Especially if you struggle with dark circles, because think about it, if you're wearing mascara on your lower lashes, then you're creating a shadow on your under eye area. You may not be aware of it, but you are. And that can cast down onto those dark circles, which you've probably spent a lot of time trying to conceal as it is. So skipping that altogether and not adding extra shadows into this area really can help to open the eyes. And going along with that same thought process there, if you take a little bit of a highlighter, and I'm not talking ones that are really shimmery or glittery, I'm talking about real subtle ones. The one that I'm showing you here is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Film Star Bronze and Glow Face Sculpt and Highlight palette. And you just sweep a small amount of that highlighting shade under the eyes in a subtle way, brighten the under eye area, and combat any dark circle issues. Next tip that I want to share with you is, I'm trying to go in order here as I applied it to my face. Layer your face cream with your foundation. In the example that I'm showing you here, I'm using e.l.f.'s Holy Hydration Face Cream combined up with Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. These two products are my favorite of the moment. Love the e.l.f. face cream because it does give the skin a dewy finish, but it's not too much for those of us who do have oily skin. And what is great about doing this method of application is that it gives the skin a seamless finish and realistically dewy skin. And I feel like they play together better throughout the day when you do it that way too. And the last tip that I want to share with you is taking a contour shade and applying a small amount underneath your lower lip. Again, going back to the shadows and the highlights that I had talked about earlier, when you're applying shadow in an area that naturally has a shadow, it can emphasize that, and in this case, make your lower lip appear bigger than what it may be. Don't go crazy with it or anything. I mean, we don't want to look like we have dirt hanging out there underneath our lips, but it really does help to transform the natural shape of your lips with that small addition of shadow in that area. So if you have a 10-second tip that you would like to share, please feel free to do so below. I hope that this video has blessed you today and that you're able to find value in it. Thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to watch. I want to wish you a beautifully blessed day ahead. I look forward to seeing you again next time.